Hello, dear friends. Let's continue our reading the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Last time we read only one text, chapter 1, observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. In Sanskrit, the name of this chapter is Ardjuna Vishada Yoga. Means the yoga of desperation, Arjuna. So Arjuna feels despair. He is in great turmoil, and this, if it's connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if our despair, if our frustration is somehow connected with the Supreme Personality, is called yoga. Ardjuna Vishada Yoga. Text number, last time we read only one text number 28, and we read Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's purport to text 29. I will repeat the text. Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up." So today we'll try to read text number 29 and maybe a few more. Text 29. Vepatuscha sharire me Roma harshascha jayate Gandivam ramsate hastat Vakchaiva paridahyate. Translation. My whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on end. My bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There are two kinds of trembling of the body and two kinds of standing of the hair on end. Such phenomena occur either in great spiritual ecstasy or out of great fear under material conditions. There is no fear in transcendental realization. Arjuna's symptoms in this situation are out of material fear, namely loss of life. This is evident from other symptoms also. He became so impatient that his famous bow Gandiva was slipping from his hand, and because his heart was burning within him, he was feeling a burning sensation of the skin. All these are due to a material conception of life. So, in this verse, we see that Arjuna shares his feelings with Krishna. Arjuna says that his body is trembling. Hair standing on end, and the palms of his hands are so wet that probably his bow Gandiva is slipping from his hands, and his skin is burning. In this purport, we see that Srila Prabhupada says that there are two kinds of these symptoms. these symptoms can be either of spiritual realization or material fear. And Srila Prabhupada also says that there can be no fear in spiritual realization. So he states over here that there is no fear in transcendental realization. It means that when we start to distinguish between our body and ourselves, and we start to understand that the body is not myself, in this case, we start to be fearless, without fear. And Srila Prabhupada says that Arjuna's symptoms in this situation were the result of material fear, namely the loss of life. It's interesting. Fear of that he will lose his life, or that all his kinsmen will lose their lives, namely the loss of life. Looks like Arjuna did not have this fear of losing his life, but probably he was very afraid that all the people of the battlefield are going to lose their life, and he did not want this. This is evident from other symptoms. He became so impatient that his famous bow Gandiva was slipping from his hand. Yeah, Arjuna once gave a vow that if he takes his bow Gandiva for a fight, he will not let it go, he will not put it away uh, unless the battle is finished. And here we see that the battle almost began, and Arjuna took his bow in his hand, and now we see that he cannot hold his bow. He just wants to put it away. And because his heart was burning within him, he was feeling a burning sensation of the skin. Probably his heart was beating so fast at this point that he felt the sensation of the skin on his skin, that it was like burning. Mhm. All these are due to a material conception of life. As we see in this verse, Srila Prabhupada chastises Arjuna. Says that Arjuna became a victim of material vision. The previous verses, Srila Prabhupada was praising Arjuna. He said that Arjuna was having a compassion, which is good for any devotee. And here we see that Srila Prabhupada says all these are due to material conception of life. In the Bhagavad Gita notes by Gauranga Priya, we see that he made three texts together text 28, 29, and 30. Uh, so let's we try to read the next text too, and then we will read these comments. By text 30. Nacha shaknam avazdhatum brahmativa chame mana nimittani cha patshyami viparitani keshava. The translation: I'm now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the Kashi demon. Purport: due to his impatience, Arjuna was unable to stay on the battlefield, and he was forgetting himself on account of this weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things put a man in such a bewildering condition of existence. Bhayam vidyabhi niveshata syat. Such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium take place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The word Nimittani Viparitani are significant. The words Nimittani Viparitani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self-interest by Krishna's will. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self-interest by Krishna's will. One's real self-interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna. The conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him. So, we see that in the verse, Arjuna says that he is unable to stand there any longer. He doesn't want to be there. Probably he asks himself, why am I here? What am I doing here? Am I supposed to be here? I'm forgetting myself. And my mind is reeling. So probably he is very doubtful about his situation, about his position, and he asks himself whether he belongs here. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the demon. It's interesting that the demon Kashi is a demon of illusions. So Arjuna is quite an extraordinary person, because even in this situation, when he cannot understand his situation, his position, he still understands that some kind of illusion fell upon him. And in this, being inside this um, state of mind, he clearly asks Krishna to destroy this illusion by addressing him in this way: O killer of the Kashi demon. In this purport, Srila Prabhupada says that Arjuna is impatient now. He wants to be somewhere else. He is unable to stay on the battlefield. He is forgetting himself. Probably he wants to do something else, but not what he is about to do. Excessive attachment. Probably this is very important uh, here, because due to excessive attachment to our body, to our things and people who are connected to, as we think, ourselves, but this is the connection. This is the bodily connection, of course. So excessive attachment to all these material things puts us in this dangerous position when we cannot execute our duties. And Srila Prabhupada also cites or recites the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam that the fearfulness and the loss of mental equilibrium take place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. So when we want to enjoy ourselves with the material pleasures, we uh, we push ourselves into the condition when we will surely be fearful and lose our mental equilibrium. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses. So this is what Arjuna envisioned. Well, of course, Arjuna is Maharatha, which means he can fight against thousands and thousands of warriors alone. So he understood that he is going to kill many of these warriors. He would not be happy even by gaining victory. And Srila Prabhupada here, he says that Arjuna envisioned painful reverses in the battlefield, which means that Arjuna understood that he will kill many of the warriors, Kshatriyas, and mostly, like probably he will be victorious at the end, having Krishna by his side. So, but he was not even happy with this, with gaining victory. The words Nimittani Viparitani. What is the translation of Nimittani and Viparitani? Nimittani, causes, and Viparitani, just the opposite. Viparitani. Nimittani Viparitani. Causes, the opposite. So he sees something that he does not want to have. What Prabhupada say? The words Nimittani Viparitani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Why am I here? Don't fully understand it. Nimittani Viparitani. Which means Arjuna wants to have enjoyment, but he sees the frustration Nimittani causes, and Viparitani the opposite. If you understand it, please write down below and have better understanding of these two words, Nimittani Viparitani. Arjuna thinks, why am I here? I want to enjoy, but here I am. I have to fight and I have to kill those people I can enjoy with. I can enjoy my life with. So this is what he sees. When man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. And this is natural. Everyone wants to have everything fine in his life. Everyone wants to have everything managed nicely, no pains in his life. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. And here Srila Prabhupada says that actually our self-interest is what Supreme Self wants. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self-interest by Krishna's will. So Arjuna's real self-interest is what Krishna wants. And when he can see it, he can act accordingly. One's real self-interest lies in Vishnu. So what does Vishnu or Krishna want? This should be considered as our real self-interest. The conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. So when we forget that our real, genuine self-interest lies within the interest of Vishnu or Krishna, we start to associate our self-interest with the body, with our mind, and everything connected to our body and mind. Our relatives, our family, our things which are around us, and we start to be very attached to this because this is our interest. And when we are too attached, we have a fear of losing these things which are very dear to us. And when we have fear, we lose the mental equilibrium. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him. Well, as again, we see that Srila Prabhupada says that Arjuna thought only about victory. Arjuna thought that he will, well, it was not just a thought, probably this was his state of his mind that the victory is in like upon him, the victory is going to be his. Probably he was very uh, convinced about this because Krishna was by his side. And wherever Krishna is, the victory is there as well. Right, what is here in Bhagavad Gita notes? Text 28:30. So, signs of compassion, according to the bodily, uh, like the what can body show us? Limbs of Arjuna, they were quivering, mouth drying up, whole body trembling, hair standing on end, hands Gandiva bow sleeping, skin burning, legs unable to stand any longer due to impatience, forgetting myself and mind reeling due to weakness of the heart, sees only cause of misfortune. So, causes of compassion. Compassion due to the soft heartedness of a pure devotee. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So when a devotee has a full unflinching devotion unto Supreme Lord, all the good qualities manifest within him. And non-devotee, in contrast, he may be advanced in education and culture, but he lacks godly qualities. He hovers, he's hovering on mental plane, and he's certain to be attached by glaring energy of the Lord. And what indicates his soft-heartedness, Arjuna is sympathetic for both parties. So we see that Arjuna was a devotee of Krishna, and for this reason, so he had real compassion. He was not compassionate only about his kinsman, he was also compassionate towards the opposite party. He did not want his enemies to die. This is all due to his unflinching devotion unto Supreme Lord, unto Krishna. And if the person is not devotee of the Lord, whatever qualities he may show, and no matter how much culture and education he has, he lacks godly qualities, and so it means that he cannot be compassionate the same on the same level as devotee like Arjuna. Mm-hmm. I will not read probably everything, just some interesting points here, because there is a big like a big page over here, and there are many different things which prove the Srila Prabhupada's points. Like here we see two kinds of trembling, on hair, standing of hair. It's great spiritual ecstasy or great fear under material condition. Next, it's cause of fearfulness. It's fearfulness and loss of equilibrium takes place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. And importance of Nimittani Viparitani, to see only cause of misfortune, only pain and frustration, only pain and frustration. Nimittani Viparitani. Causes are different. So when we see Nimittani Viparitani, it means that we see only the frustration of our expectations. We wanted something else, but we have what we have. Nimittani Viparitani. Only pain and frustration. To see only pain, painful reverses. See only frustration and no happiness. This is Nimittani Viparitani. We want to be happy, but we have Nimittani Viparitani. We have something that makes us unhappy. And the last one, it's causes of such frustration in life. This is misdirected interest. Only interested in one's own welfare. And the cause of Nimittani Viparitani is ignorance of real self-interest. Real self-interest is Vishnu's satisfaction. This is a little bit from this. Yeah. And now we can have a look at Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur's purport. We read a little bit from the 28-29. O Krishna, seeing all my relatives and friends gathered to fight, my limbs are weakening, my mouth is drying up, my body is trembling, and my hairs are standing on end. My bow is falling from my hand, and my skin is burning. The purport: seeing all these known people, my mouth has dried up. The phrase, as I stand here, should be added at the beginning of the sentence. As I stand here, seeing this, my limbs become weak. So Vishwanath Chakravarti, he says, Arjuna says, like, I'm standing here, and so all the parts of my body are shaking, trembling, burning, and so on. The cause of all these symptoms is that I stand here. Arjuna says, he tells about the reason of his frustration, of his trembling, of the quivering of the body, and hair standing on end. The reason is I stand here, and this is the reason. Next. I cannot stay fixed. My text 30. I cannot stay fixed, and my mind seems to whirl about. I see contrary results on this battle. O Keshava. The purport. Nimitta is used in the sense of end result, just as the goal of money is a good residence. I will not get happiness by attaining the kingdom if I win the war, but rather will suffer sorrow the opposite way a result. The suffer sorrow the opposite result. So Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti he says that Krishna in the translation he says that Arjuna um, cannot stay fixed and his mind is whirling and he sees the contrary results. He wants to win and enjoy, but he will only have frustration and despair even if he wins. And in the purport, Natha Chakravarti says that nimitta is used in the sense of the end result. So the end result of this fight will be frustration. Nimitta, the end result of this fight, no matter we win or we lose, it's just a frustration. Nimittani Viparitani. Viparitani, this is opposite. The end result is opposite of what I want. I want to enjoy, but I will suffer. And it's interesting that the goal of money is actually a good house. This is what Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur says. Like, just as the goal of money is a good residence. I will not get happiness by attaining the kingdom if I win the war. Nimittani Viparitani. But rather will suffer sorrow, the opposite result. All right, let's continue. Continue. Text 31st. Nacha shreyo nupashyami hatva svajanam ahave nakankshe vijayam Krishna nacharajyam sukhanicha. Translation. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsman in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. But without knowing that one's self-interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such situations. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes for a kshatriya. It is said that two kinds of man, namely the kshatriya, who dies directly in front of the battlefield under Krishna's personal orders, and the persons in the renounced order of life, who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture, are eligible to enter into the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. Arjuna is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. He thinks that by killing his kinsman, there would be no happiness in his life, and therefore he is not willing to fight, just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. He has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded life in frustration. But as a kshatriya, he requires a kingdom for his subsistence, because the kshatriyas cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. But Arjuna has no kingdom. Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins and brothers and reclaiming the kingdom inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. Therefore, he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live a secluded life of frustration. Okay, so this verse, Yuna says, I do not see how good, how any good can come from killing my kinsman. He does not want to fight anymore. He found this situation very difficult. He does not want to kill uh, not just his brothers and teachers, I mean cousins, the sons of Dhritarashtra. He does not want to kill anyone there. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory. So he, Arjuna, even forgot about the purpose of what he is about to do. They were there to gain victory, to take what is truly theirs, the kingdom. This fight at Kurukshetra was arranged uh, for this reason only, to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, especially Duryodhana, and to claim Yudhishthira the king. But Arjuna seems to forget about why they were there. The purport, Srila Prabhupada says that, again, the real self-interest of any person is what Vishnu or Krishna wants. But the conditioned soul forgets about it due to the attachment to the bodily relationships. Any conditional soul hopes to be happy with their relationship, and in this situation they forget conditional souls, forget about the ritual advancement or a real self-interest. In such a blind condition of life, they forget even the cause of material happiness. Oh, this is very strong. Yes, the cause, the root of even material happiness lies within the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. No one can be happy in material way without satisfying the Supreme Personality. So Vishnu or Krishna is the root of both material happiness and spiritual happiness. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes for Kshatriya. So here we see that Srila Prabhupada chastises Arjuna from all the sides. He says Arjuna forgot that his real self-interest is satisfying Krishna. He is very attached to material situation and relationships. He even forgot the moral codes of Kshatriya. Okay. And what does this moral code of Kshatriya say? It says that those who are Kshatriyas and they fight. Here, Srila Prabhupada says that when they die in the battlefield under Krishna's personal order. Okay. So when Kshatriya dies due to their mm, uh, conducting their dharma, yeah, probably, yes, when they fight the um, battle which was given to these kshatriya by executing their dharma or religious duty. If they die due to conducting their religious duties, it means the Krishna's personal order or Vishnu's personal order. If it's a fight which was to protect the dharma, so these kshatriyas they go to the sun globe, as well as those people who strictly follow the spiritual culture, they also go to the sun globe. These two kinds of man are eligible to enter the sun globe, which is just great. The sun is wonderful. Arjuna is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. He doesn't want to kill his uh, relatives at all. He doesn't even want to kill others, although he needs to do it because his victory lies within killing everyone there. Otherwise, they will continue to claim that Yudhishthira is not a king, and they will disturb the everyone in the kingdom. So these people, they have to be killed. They have to be destroyed by Arjuna and the others. And in this way, they will gain their victory, their kingdom. He thinks that by killing his kingsmen, there would be no happiness in his life. Yes, having a good relationship with brothers, uncles, fathers, grandfathers, teachers, these our happiness lies within relationship. We cannot be happy alone. Even going to the forest, we will start to have some relationships with animals, with trees, with some forces of the nature. We cannot be alone and be happy. Therefore, he is not willing to fight because he doesn't want to kill those people he can be happy with. Just as person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. He has now decided to go into the forest. As we see, Arjuna has already decided, as Srila Prabhupada says, he has already decided to go to the forest. So before telling this verse, Arjuna thought, I don't want to be here. My place is in the forest. I will I will be the renounced person and I will not do anything here. And live a secluded life in frustration. As a kshatriya, he requires a kingdom. Yes, here we see that Srila Prabhupada just says about the moral code. Kshatriya, it means the ruler. If he does not have anything to rule, if he doesn't anything, if he doesn't have anything uh, uh, to anyone to command and anything to rule, he is not a kshatriya. But Arjuna is kshatriya, and he cannot be engaged in any other occupation. He cannot uh, raise crops or do some labor. It's impossible for Arjuna. He cannot also go to the forest and live the secluded life. Arjuna requires a kingdom, and this the only opportunity for him to have it. It is here on the battlefield. There is no other option. So he just, so to say, destined to fight, but he doesn't want. Fighting his cousins and brothers and claiming the kingdom inherited from his father. Yeah, that was his right. The king was Pandu. The kingdom was given to Pandu, the Arjuna's father. But Dhritarashtra, he took it from his nephews, and he did not want to to give it away. He didn't want to give it back to Yudhishthira. Although Yudhishthira, not Duryodhana, was the right uh, king, which he does not like to do. Arjuna doesn't want to claim his kingdom. Therefore, he considers himself fit to go to the forest. Yes. All right. Text 30, 31. The main topic here is the person who is too attached to material life. He does not see his real self interest, Vishnu. He wants to be happy with his material things, and he forgets about um, executing his religious duties. How Arjuna exhibits blind conception of life. This is called blind conception of life. Refuses to fight. So when a person uh, blind conception of life, it means that without knowing one's self-interest as Vishnu, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such conditions. This is a blind conception of life. How does Arjuna exhibit this blind conception of life? He refuses to fight. He refuses to follow the Kshatriya's code, and he proposes to go to the forest. He's reluctant to kill his enemies. Um, he considers himself fit to go to the forest. So there are two things here. First, he refuses to fight, and second, he says that I I'd better go to the forest. Why did he do this? Because he was having this blind conception of life. So what does Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur say? Text 31st. Have a purport here. I do not see any good result after killing my own people in war. I do not desire victory, kingdom, or happiness, O Krishna. The purport. I do not see any benefit in killing in this manner. Na Shreya Pa Pashyami. I think the Sanskrit is somewhat difficult to read here. The scriptures say such things as, I would probably not read this. So the scriptures say, the sannyasi engaged in yoga and the warrior who dies facing the enemy attain the sun planet. Parashara Smriti. It's Smriti. Parashara Smriti. Parashara Smriti 330. So this is the place in Shastra where it is stated that the sannyasi who is engaged in yoga and the warrior who dies facing the enemy, they attain the sun planet. Thus, it is better that I die rather than kill them, as there is no pity in this killing. But by fighting, you gain kingdom and fame. These are the Krishna's words. I do not desire victory, kingdom, or happiness. All right. Vishwanatha Chakravarti, he says that Arjuna did not see any good result after killing. He says that he does not want to kill because he does not see any good result in this. He does not desire victory anymore. He does not desire kingdom, and he does not desire happiness. Um, happiness in this way. But he says, thus it is better that I die rather than kill them. Arjuna wants to be killed by the sons of Dhritarashtra than to kill them, as there is no pity in this killing. As there is no pity in this killing. What does it mean? As there is no pity in this killing. Thus, it is better that I die rather than kill them, as there is no pity this killing. Right, write down below what do you think it means. Surely Arjuna does not want to kill them. It's for sure. He even wants the Duryodhana and others to kill him. This is what he really desires in this case. Thus, it is better that I die rather than kill them. But Krishna says, but if you fight, you gain kingdom. And not only kingdom, you gain uh, fame. Arjuna says, I don't want this kingdom. I don't want this victory, and I don't want this happiness. But we can stop here. If you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, you want to expand on some ideas here, please tell about it in the commentary section. Thank you very much for watching. It was fun for me, and hope it was interesting as well. See you next time.